So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back once again to the Watch Market Update Show. Ladies and gentlemen, before I get into the Watch Market Update Show, I want to ask all of you to please don't forget to like our video, share our video, or if you would like, subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up. That's basically, what we're asking for, give us a thumbs up and, uh, and you do whatever you guys want to do, right, guys? You know what you got to do. Just give us a like and subscribe to the channel if you feel like you need to subscribe to this channel. Ladies and gentlemen, I also want to talk to you a little bit about the price of gold per ounce. As of today, the price of gold is $3,375 an ounce, 33.75 an ounce. The gram is 108.54, and the kilo is $108,538, right? Today, guys, I'm going to give you a little recap of the year 2018. I'm going to give you a recap of the year 2018, what happened in that year. So that year was a good year because things in the watch industry were the way they were supposed to be. People were buying watches and they were making a nice little pocket change, to feed their family. These watch dealers, everything was good, everything was running nice. So you understand what I'm saying? You could buy a Rolex, Daytona stainless steel, white dial, ceramic bezel. You could have bought it for $17,500, $16,900, $18,000. That's how things were. That was the price. And you would pay for that in the secondary grade watch market. You would pay for it. I paid it, and it was normal. That amount of money was normal. It was all right. People were happy. Maybe you got lucky even if you probably paid for $16,000. But let's go into the recap. In the year 2018, we didn't have no Corona beer era going on. There was no Corona. The Corona, that funny thing that was going around. They came around in, I don't know, 2020, right? Things were good. We were going through some changes in the watch industry. So in the year 2018, in March 22nd through March 27th, they had a real big show over there in Switzerland. And at that time, the name of the show was called Basel World. It was Basel World. But things were going through a big change in this industry. It was a big change happening. There was a big swing going around. And the show was it was a very small show. Small show, not a whole lot of vendors, and it was a very short event. It probably lasted 6 days. From the normal of 9 days, it was 6 days, and things were changing around. And some big brands were not there no more, but you had this company, the Swatch company, and they have brands like Rolex. And that year in 2018, Rolex said that they were no longer going to participate no more in Basel World because there was another show coming around, which, it's like that Watches and Wonders, Watches and Wonders. This is to the people that don't know much about what's happening in the watch industry. I'm doing this for, because I have a lot of subscribers which have just started to get into watches. So I'm giving you a little rundown on what happened in the year 2018. So there was not a lot of watch brands in that show, and it was the last show that Rolex participated, in Basel World, which Basel World has been around, from the 50s, since 1950s. So, like I said again, we were buying watches. They were very hyped up at that time, and if you paid $2,000 over the MSRP, I mean, you're like, wow, you just got paid $2,000 over, right? And you might think, wow, that was a lot of money. And it was a lot of money. And people, paid for those watches that they wanted. Like the Daytona, like I was telling you, the ceramic, the Panda, the Darth Vader, all that good stuff. But there was something happening that nobody was really noticing because the fever wasn't, it didn't hit at that moment. The fever didn't hit. And Rolex was releasing a watch at that moment. They were releasing the number one watch that you guys have made the poster child of the watches, which is a watch that, anyway, it was the Rolex GMT Jubilee bracelet, stainless steel with a blue and red ceramic bezel. It was the Pepsi. And not many people were really in tune on this watch. This watch is from it was re-released again, with a new ceramic bezel, lottie, Jubilee bracelet. And it was overlooked by a lot of people. And so the people didn't really, took notice of that watch. And the show went on from March the 22nd to the 27th. Fast forward to June, I get a phone call from one of my Rolex ADs. And they told me, hello, Mr. Nieves, how are you? Blah, 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 blah. This is so-and-so. Yes. I have a watch coming in that's a new watch, and it's a Rolex GMT Pepsi with a Jubilee bracelet, stainless steel. If you're interested in the watch costs $8,650. This is the year 2018. Listen and learn, because I'm not going to be repeating myself today too much. I don't feel that well. So I told the person, I said, yeah, this is the truth. I said, okay, I'll take the watch. So she was telling me it was in transit coming into the store in the Caribbean. So finally, the watch came in, time came, and as the days were going by, I was hearing a lot of noise about this Rolex GMT Pepsi, and people were acting kind of crazy. Remember, this is before everything blew up. This is not even the Corona era. So I took a flight from Miami, Florida, and I went to Antigua. I'm even going to tell you where I went to. I went to Antigua because I'm going to tell you the whole story how it was. I'm not going to tell you the sales lady's name, but they no longer have the Rolex line on board. They took it away from them. So I went to pick it up. I flew over there. I spent $1,100 in a ticket in American Airlines. And I stayed in the hotel overnight, and I came back home with the watch. But little did I know that following, I got back home on Sunday. And Monday, in June, there was a big show here in Miami, a watch show, a big watch show. So I decided to go to the show. Juan Felipe Nieves, decided to go to the show because I wanted to see what was the big hoopla of this Rolex GMT with a Jubilee bracelet, blue and red ceramic bezel with a black dot. So I went over there, and the people were going nuts. And I showed this watch to a watch dealer that is very, very, very well known in that watch show. If you're looking at me, you know who you are. You can tell me thank you. So I had the watch and I showed it to him, and he bugged out. He couldn't believe. He says, I'm looking for the first time at this watch. I haven't seen it nowhere. Remember, we're talking about the poster child watch that you guys have made famous. Let me say something to you guys. I really don't want to say this, but I am going to say it. So you have this in the back of your head. This watch, if it's not more popular, listen to what I'm going to say. If it's not more popular than a Rolex Daytona ceramic, black or white dial, is there. How's that? The Pepsi, you guys made it that way. So I went to the show. And the guy went nuts. And he tells me right there, I paid for the watch $8,650 plus my airline flight, plus my hotel stay, and plus my dinner. And the guy says to me, I want to buy you the watch. And he tells me right off the bat, he tells me, I give you for the watch right now $20,000 on my mother's grave. And I told him no. I was in shock. I paid, let's say, $10,000. He was offering me $20,000. I said no. And he says to me, listen, if you leave from my booth and you shop it around, si lo puteas, if you prostitute the watch, si me lo puteas, the sale is not going to go through. And I looked at him. He's a very well-known watch dealer out of Miami, in the Miami show. And I'm going to make it even better for you guys. He's from Florida, all right? So he tells me that, and I look at him, and I said, listen, if you give me for the watch $21,500, I'll give it to you. And he was so desperate for the watch that he obliged. And he gave me $21,500 in $150 bills. And I gave him the watch. And you might be thinking, why are you talking about this? Well, I'm going to tell you why I'm talking about this. This watch, like I told you again, if it's not as popular as a Daytona, folks, is right there. This watch, and I'm telling you this, all honesty. When I say something truthful, I'm not going to smile too much. I'm telling you, this watch, I got to hand it to them. This is from 2018. They've been flim-flamming you guys for the longest that the watch is going to get discontinued. But the watch hasn't been discontinued. I got it in June of 2018. I had it with me for 48 hours I had it with me. And I flipped it. And I made that money. And the watch is still out there. And it's one of the watches, this is for the people, they collect replica watches, Or should I say one-on-one? This is for the people that collect one-on-one watches. This is a watch that they have tried, for what I understand, for the person that I spoke to, and he talked to me about the watch. All these watch factories out of the Silicon Valley, of that side over there in China, they have tried their heart out to duplicate it, to make it exact. One of the things that, for some reason, I believe that the movements of all Rolex watches that they have, they really guard it real well. They guard that, to be honest. The rest of the bracelet, the casing, the bezel, they don't give a frog about it. But for some reason, the movement, they put it away in a safe place. And one of the things that these factories out of the Silicon Valley, of all those watch factories over there in China, that they haven't really perfected, I'm going to tell you this, and you guys have to know this, it's the movement. When you wind a Rolex movement and you wind a clone, a replica, you hear clack, 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 clack. When you wind it, clack, 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 clack. But when you wind a real movement from a Rolex, it's smooth like silk. It's like silk. It has, listen to me so you understand, it has a particular sound, right? And the clones and the replicas and all that stuff, they have a funny, I'm not going to say cheap, but a funny noise that it makes, when you wind it. How do I know? I've done it. I've compared, one Florida orange to the California orange. California orange is very, very orange, the skin, but the one that has the more juice is the Florida one. I don't know if you know that, but now you know it now. So and you can hear it. It has a silk they haven't perfected. There's a factory over there in Qingjing that they have almost perfected it, and they say that factory's name is called the Clean, like Mr. Clean. We're gonna call it the Mr. Clean, right? The Mr. Clean. And they pretty much, listen to this, they pretty much have perfected the casing, the bracelet, the crystal, and the movement. But it's still not at par with the real thing. I'm getting there. I'm getting to the story. So now there is Mr. Clean, the factory, Mr. Clean, and then there's this new factory that just came out. It just came out. Listen and learn, guys. Listen and learn. And you might be thinking, why am I telling you this? Because this is the watch right now that can really, really take many people out there. I mean, take. When I show you what I'm going to show you today, then you're going to understand why I'm talking about the Rolex GMT Pepsi stainless steel with the red and blue ceramic bezel and the black dial. Not the oyster bracelet, the Jubilee. So the factory, Mr. Clean, now another factory came out right after the whole situation with saying that watch parts of Rolex are made over there in the Silicon Valley of China. I'm sure they probably have a couple of, collectors of rep watches right now watching this, and they're going to say, wow, how does this guy know? I know what I'm going to tell you. There's another factory that just came out. Another factory that just came out, and you're not going to believe this. Let me just show you, because that way you know what's happening. You know what's happening. I'm gonna just show you the pictures, and then I'm gonna go into something else. But I want you to see this. I want you to see the other factory name is called Versus. Like the Knicks versus Indiana Pacers. You understand me? Indiana Pacers versus Oklahoma. Versus. VS. Versus. And I'm going to show you something here that when I saw, I said, wow, they're taking this to a different level now. Here it goes. You can see that? You see that? I'm showing you. It's showing you the backing of the watch, the thickness of the watch. And the Clean was one of the best ones of all the factories, but this factory called Versus is finishing with everybody. The thickness is identical to like Mr. Blair and Mr. Damon showed me, the genuine. It's identical, the thickness. Look at it. You see it, right? You see that? Look at the back. The back of the Clean, the back here, right in the middle, it pops out a little bit, the back of it. But if you look at the Versus, it's exactly like the genuine. Unbelievable what they're doing. This is it right here. You're looking at it? It's called Versus versus Clean. And Versus right now is in top of the game for what I understand. Look at this. Look at it. Real good. You see it? You see the casing in the back? Has a little lip. Look at the Versus and look at the genuine. It's almost identical, right? You saw that. And then, this is unbelievable. Look at the bezel. Look at the bezel. Look at the teeth on the bezel. That part, Damon, you're going to have to do your own research. I'm just saying, look at this. Look at this. Look at it. Remember, Versus Clean. And the one that took over now is Versus. You looking at it? Okay, you saw that. All right. Let's keep on going. Look at the hands. Look at the hands. Unbelievable what they're doing. I'm not showing you this so you can buy them. I'm showing you so you guys won't get taken. Because this watch is the poster child of the Muppet Boiler Room secondary gray watch market. You understand me? This VS just came out right after the big hoopla of over there, the Silicon Valley in Xinjiang. You understand me? They came out. Let me show you more. Look at the magnifier. The font, the magnifier. Look at the end link on the Versus. Look at the end link of the clean and look at the end link of the genuine. This is scary, guys. This is scary. This is scary. Look at it real well. Look at the end link. You understand? So the way they did the laser on the end links, wow. Look at this. This is crazy. The one on the bottom right here, that's clean. Look at the Versus and look at the genuine. Papi, te rompen el orto. Te rompen el orto. Te rompen el orto. Te rompen el orto. It's a scary thing. So I'm going to tell you now that I was telling you before. Yeah, you need to Google it, Papi. I can't. I just can't. You know, I can't. But this is the one that I could, and I will. You know, I can't tell you the whole full thing, but I'm going to tell you this part now. Remember what I told you about the like silk, the movement? This factory has it that anybody that has the ear that knows about watches and has been doing this seriously for many years, and they listen to it, they go, with their ear, they go, that's the movement right there. That's the real thing. Because if all of you that have Rolex watches, if you wind it, I'm telling you, you're going to hear that special, you know, little winding, smooth, silky noise it makes. Not like a replica, a $200 replica, a $300 replica. They're talking about that this replica right here, I said it wrong. This one-on-one, they're talking already about $2,000. That's serious money. $2,000. That's a lot of money. Am I supporting that? Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. I'm sorry, guys, if you guys are, clone collectors. I'm sorry, but I'm not. But I'm telling my people to be careful because they're giving it now. This one is coming with a box, papers, guarantee card, white card, green hang tag, hologram, and all that. You understand me? Ustedes no pueden seguir de palomo. De palomo. Ustedes no pueden seguir. You cannot continue being palomos. Palomos. If you don't know what palomos is, you need to Google it because I'm not going to tell you what a palomo is. Not today, I'm not going to tell you. You do your own research and you find out what a palomo is. You know? Lambón, you know what a lambón is. This is palomo. Palomo. Guys, I was pretty in shock with the whole watch, with the whole craftsmanship of the watch. Craftsmanship. I was blown away. To all of you that know about, because I see you guys there putting names of new, NOOB, this clean, pampa. And I've done a study on this. I've done a study on this, and they say that the best factory working out there was the Mr. Clean. But they say that this one now that came out, the Versus, and it's not Versus like VE, Versus, VERS, whatever you call it, not that one. It's just with a regular, like the Versus, in a game, you put, Versus, VS, right? Okay, that they say that these people are coming out blazing, blazing. They're taking the game to a different level. To a different level, they're taking the game. And they're asking for that watch. That's what I heard already. I heard it from somebody that knows about this, that operates in this, and there's no shame. No shame. He said, I don't have no shame. Not me, the person tells me. He says, this is unbelievable what's coming out. And the funny thing is, there's people already online, like a regular line, lambones, a big long line of lambones and palomos, bunch of palomos, ready to give 2 G's for that watch. I'm telling you what it is. You know what it is. Be careful with your children's tuition money. And remember, this is the watch that is the poster child of all the Muppet Boiler Room secondary gray watch market channels and dealers. You understand me? I mean, you guys know a whole lot, but to the ones that don't know about this, I'm telling you what it is. No. Listen to me, G. Don't get involved in that. Don't get involved in that. Don't do it. Don't do it, G. Don't do it. I know what I'm trying to tell you guys, I'm trying to tell you something so you feel healthy, that you don't get this, because let me tell you what's happening out there. It's una jodienda what's happening out there, guys. It really is. It's scary. When you hear the movement of that watch, you get confused. And the way they're using the same designs and the same decorations is scary. It's scary. So be very, very, very careful. I'm going to go into the watch market update. I already gave you the recap of 2018, at Basel World. You know about that. You know the price of gold. And now I'm going to give you a watch market update. All right, guys? I don't know if Mr. Damon is here today. I think he is. I don't know if he's here or not. Yes, he is here. So I'm going to give a watch market update. And Mr. Damon, I believe, asked me, can you please give me a watch market update on a Vacheron Constantin overseas, yellow gold, a 47450 dual time, 42 millimeter. You asked me for that, right? I'm going to give you did, correct, right? So I'm going to tell you right off the bat, Mr. Damon, don't pay for that watch. It's a beautiful watch, but don't pay for that watch more than $35,000. And okay, you know what's up. You do whatever you want with your money. It's there for you. I'm gonna exactly. Son palomos, papi. Son palomos. Son palomos, papá. Tú sabes lo que te estoy diciendo, Nick. Son palomos. There you go. All right, don't do that. Am I good or what, Damon? Just tell me if I'm good or not. Give me a thumbs up or give me a logo, whatever it is. And dropping. There you go. Mr. Blair finished you off, Damon. He said, and dropping. Right. A palomo, I'm going to tell all of you what a palomo is. I feel good today. I feel very, thank you very much, Damon. Thank you. I feel very good. I'm going to tell you what a palomo is. A lambon, I told you, is a person that's a lick, like a licking a lollipop, licking, lambon. Palomo is somebody that's naive, very easily taken, for a mashibina. So that's what a palomo means. Palomo. And if you want to know where these slang words, what country they come from, I will tell you too. They come from La República Dominicana, Santo Domingo, the Dominican Republic. That's where it comes from, okay? So now you know what lambón is, and now you know what a palomo is. A palomo is a naive person, naive. All right, guys? Our next watch that we're going to go into, guys, is a watch. It's a beautiful watch. It's a Rolex white gold GMT Pepsi with a blue dial. Reference number 126719 BLRO with a blue dial. They call this Pepsi the Pepsi Superman because, as you know, the Rolex GMT stainless steel Jubilee bracelet has a blue and red ceramic bezel, but the dial is black. In the white gold, it comes with a beautiful combo for real. I mean, an unbelievable combo. Listen and learn, guys. Right? Listen and learn. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, and here it goes. This is an unbelievable watch. The retail price of that watch is $45,200. And this watch, if you're buying it, it's a good time to start looking at it. This is not the older white gold with the black dial. This is the new reference with the blue dial, the Superman blue dial. But it's a Pepsi with a blue dial, which I think it looks more beautiful than the regular. Pretty close, Dr. Evil. I mean, damn close. It's more beautiful than the stainless steel with the black dial, blue and red ceramic bezel. This is more beautiful. Don't pay for that watch, and I mean don't pay for that watch more than $31,000. Right, guys? Don't pay more than $31,000. Just letting you guys know that, I know these people are hyping up prices among themselves, and things are happening, and you guys are going to become palomos, palomos. And I don't want you guys to become palomos. As you know, you're being attacked already by a lot of content, watch content by all these people, a lot of, they're just coming after you. And the thing is that I want to just remind you guys, don't fall for the videos of these watch dealers going to car dealers to buy $150,000 car, $200,000 car, $75,000 car. Don't fall for that, Papi. Don't fall for that. This is the way they got you, a good 3 years ago. They got you with that kind of content. And you guys are lucky that you guys have me, that I'm reminding you. I'm like, remember the Great Gazoo? Does anybody remember the Great Gazoo? Fred Flintstone. Fred Flintstone had this mother Frogger. They would hang out with him here, and he would tell them things, the Great Gazoo, and I'm like the Great Gazoo, I'm that great, mother Frogger that's telling you everything. So don't let them, hoodwink you, don't let them hoodwink you and fleece you with this content of they're buying cars and trading watches. That's all BS, all right? Don't, the Great Gazoo, he had like a little antenna. It's unbelievable, that guy, Unbelievable, that Great Gazoo. So, and don't fall for the dinners, don't fall for the dinners and all that kind of stuff. You wanna watch those shows, you watch them. But just remember to be very, very careful. Don't let that subliminal message get to you, and you want to go out to the steak guy and spend $17,000 on a dinner, which they're not spending it, but they're gonna tell you that, they're gonna give you that MK Ultra feeling, So be careful, right, guys? So be careful. I know what I'm trying to tell you guys. Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is a Rolex stainless steel Explorer, with the polar dial, 40 millimeter, reference number 16570. It's sad that I'm telling you this, because most of the watches that I'm going to talk to you today about are discontinued watches, collector's dream, collector's choice, collector's grade, collector's unit, you know? They're mad at me because I'm showing you all this, you know, of all the collectors, you know, choice, dream, grade, unit. But you have to learn. You have to learn so you can keep on, you know, passing the word, you know. Sigan la palabra. Para que los otros no sean palomos, you know. No sean palomos. No sean palomas y lambones. Anyway, guys, this watch is that watch, a discontinued watch. And they told you when this watch it gets discontinued, it's gonna be unbelievable, this, that, blah, 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 blah. Don't pay for that watch and do yourself a favor. Don't pay for that watch more. This is a beautiful watch. There's no doubt there is a beautiful watch. Beautiful. White dial, 40 millimeter, you know? Beautiful. 16570. Don't pay for that watch more than $6,900. Collector's choice. You do whatever you want. This is a watch that I'm going to talk to you a couple of more minutes about this watch because it's a watch to show you, to demonstrate to you how things are. This is an Adamas Piquet Royal Oak Offshore. Unbelievable. It was created for a boutique, an AP boutique. Listen and learn. It was created for a boutique in Milan. Milan, Italia. Italia, Milan. You know, unbelievable. Green dial, green strap, you know, it's for the Italians. You know, with the green, the color green for the Italian people, you know. And they made of this watch 100 units. You know the word you like to hear, units. 100 units. Listen and learn, boys. I mean, this watch is almost impossible to find. Impossible. Almost impossible to find. This is 100 units. You know, 100 units. And nobody has been buying these watches. It's an offshore, you know, it's a bigger one, you know. So, you know, bigger watch, which I love the watch. I really dig the watch. It's unbelievable, that beautiful green color. Look into it. I'm going to give you the reference number so you guys, it's a boutique, you know, it's a boutique edition watch. Just look to the Italian, you know, AP in Milan. In this watch, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you, don't pay. I mean, you guys do whatever you want, you know. It's called, so you want the reference number, it's going to call Monte Napoleon. Monte. You know, it's called Monte. I have my company that I sell marble, it's called, I'm going to tell you this. It's, whenever you guys want to look into it, it's called Monteviso. US.com. That's the name of my company. Monte. M-O-N-T-E. V as in Victor. I-S-O. US.com. Just in case you want to buy some flooring tile from me. Anyway, so it's called Monte Napoleon. This beautiful watch. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you the truth. Don't pay for this watch. Don't pay for this beautiful 100-piece limited edition, rare, extremely rare. Don't pay more than $25,000 in dropping. It's sad, but it's the truth, boys. Somebody got to tell you this. Somebody got to tell you. Our next watch is an Omega. An Omega Chronos Speedmaster Moonshine. Gold. You know, listen and learn, boys. Unbelievable. 42 millimeter with a leather strap. You know, the casing is all yellow gold, you know. Omega. They say that Omega, the parts, come from over there from the Silicon Valley of Xinjiang of watches. That's what they say. I don't know. I gave up already. I give up. I just give you what I learn. I pass it to you guys. I'm not too smart, but I read. You know, I read. I read. So our next watch is the Omega, and I'm going to tell you the retail price of that watch is $32,400. That's right. It's dropping faster than Bill Clinton's pants in an Arkansas farmhouse. That's right, Dr. Evil. And I'm going to tell you, don't pay for that watch, for that Omega. Sad, man. Let me drink a little bit of jungle juice, see what happens. Relaxes my soul. Relaxes my soul. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, don't pay for that Omega, Chrono, Speedmaster, Moonshine, Gold, 42 millimeter, retail price $32,400. Don't pay more. Exactly, Mr. Blair, Jing Zing. Don't pay more than $17,500 in dropping. All right, guys? Okay, we got that. Our next watch is another unbelievable discontinued watch, you know? Collector's unit, collector's choice, collector's gray. You know, all that stuff, collector's dream. This is the Rolex White Gold Submariner. They call this the Smurf. Unbelievable Smurf. Blue dial, blue ceramic bezel, white gold. And they said when it will get discontinued, it will go all the way up. It will go all the way up. And there was a real big long line of lollipop suckers, window lickers, crayon eaters, tomato cans, you know, lollipop suckers, Palmolive dish lickers, possum kickers, cow tippers, unbelievable, palomos, lambones. They were all there, man. They were all there because they were telling them their favorite watch dealer was telling them that when it gets discontinued, this is going to go to $75,000. $75,000. And it reached the number $50,000. But I told you that while the watch is being talked about getting discontinued, it stays there, you know, at that price. Once it gets discontinued, it flatlines and it dies. Okay? Pay attention and learn. Exactly, Franco. Eso es así, Franco. Correcto. This Submariner is the reference number 116619LB. It has a retail price of $39,650. Do yourself a favor and don't pay for that watch. And I'm talking about full set, you know? Full set. Use slider condition material watches in this channel. Use. Don't pay for that watch. And I mean, don't pay for that watch more than, I don't care what they're telling you out there. What they're telling you don't mean nothing. You know, what your favorite Muppet Boiler Room secondary grade watch market channels are telling you don't mean nothing. Watch market dead. The watch market is dead. Don't pay for that watch more than $31,500. You do whatever you want. You know, I don't know if a gentleman by the name of Flip is here today, but I believe that he also wanted to find out about a watch. And he put it up there in my last video. It's called the IWC Big Pilot Stainless Steel 3706. This watch has an ETA movement. Unbelievable. And it has a 7922 also in this watch. Unbelievable. Chrono. Unbelievable. Flip, if you're there, listen up. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, and Mr. Flip, a 39 millimeter. And do yourself a favor and don't pay for that watch more than $1,750 in dropping, right? I'm sorry if you did buy it and you pay more than that. That's what it is, Poppy, okay? I gave you the whole thing. It's a beautiful watch, you know, with a leather strap, stainless steel, chrono, big pilot, you know, all that good stuff. But that watch is like around a 4,000 retail price, and don't pay more than that, right? And you do whatever you want. Ladies and gentlemen, this another watch here, which is the Rolex two-tone rose gold stainless steel Yachtmaster. Unbelievable watch, you know, 44 millimeter. Unbelievable with that rose gold and stainless steel. It was amazing. And in that Corona era, they were selling this watch for over the retail of the watch. Unbelievable. A two-tone watch was being sold over that, you know? Unbelievable. And I'm going to tell you the retail price of this watch is $25,400. And you want want this watch full set. You know, use, slighter condition, but you want it full set, right? And I told you the retail price is $25,400. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you guys do whatever you want. You guys do whatever you want with your money. I don't care what you do with your money no more. How's that? I don't care. I mean, no offense, but I don't care what you do with your money. Wow, Dr. Evil. Oh, you're just guessing. Okay. I'm not going to. He's just guessing, guys. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you saw what Dr. Evil put down for that watch. I'm going to tell you with all honesty, don't pay for that watch. Thank you, Damon. Don't pay for that watch more than $17,000 and it's dropping. Right, guys? Two-tone watches are dead in water. Sorry if I'm offending anybody out there, but they're dead. You know, it was just an illusion. You know, you remember that guy Pluto, what he did to olive oil. You know, Pluto frogged her up. He wanted that to her, and he frogged her up, and that was it. And Popeye was done. You know, so you gotta watch it. You guys, I'm telling you again, go watch those shows. You know, entertain your brain cells, but don't fall for the trap of the steak dinner, of the Maybach car. You know. I mean, don't fall for that. Don't fall. Don't fall for it. I mean, you guys do whatever you want, but don't fall for it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a Rolex. You know, unbelievable. Two-tone. Your favorite, you know, watch. You know, the bluesy. You know that watch here in the 80s. Everybody that was en el negocio de traqueteo. En el negocio de traqueteo, you know, in Miami, the people who were in that underworld business, you know, every Latino here in Miami had this watch. It is the Rolex two-tone, stainless steel with yellow gold with a blue dial and a blue ceramic bezel. Unbelievable. A blue bezel, whatever you want to call it, because back then they didn't come in ceramic, they came in aluminum, and I don't know, some of that stuff, but you know, like this watch here, you know, this right here, this is like, it was made for everybody here at that time. Listen and learn, because I'm only going to say it one time, because if I drop too much, they may watch me, you know. Everybody was a Tony Montana here in Miami in the 80s, had that watch. And they still, you know, you still have some new ones that come in from the Caribbean, and that's the first thing they get. They get a real big dog chain, you know, like Sweet Kid Kino, you know, the truth. Sweet Kid Kino, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Sweet Kid Kino has a big fat chain, and he has that Rolex Submariner, you know, two-tone, yellow gold stainless steel, blue dial, blue bezel. And this watch is unbelievable, because estaba todo el marimbero, you know, all those cowboys, you know, they had it, you know. I think I tried one time to be a cowboy too, but they slapped me around. Oh my God. Unbelievable. So the Rolex two-tone Submariner Bluesy 40 millimeter, reference number 116613 LB. Retail price is $15,800. Do yourself a favor and do your family a favor. Don't pay for that watch more than $11,500, right, guys? Yeah, I'm telling you, it was the Tony Montana. You know, the movie Scarface. I mean, it was unbelievable. It was a time people had beepers, you know, beepers. They had them as a pen, you know, a beeper as a pen, you know, or a big one, little, like, I don't know, like a cigarette box one, you know. I think I had the cigarette box one. That's what I had. So that's the watch, right, guys? So if you were somebody at that time, that was the watch you wanted, right, guys? Ladies and gentlemen, and that's also a discontinued watch, you know, discontinued, collector's choice. But I'm going to go to some watches here now, which somebody asked me for these watches, and I'm going to give you a rundown. It's the Rolex stainless steel Panda Daytona 40 millimeter. You know, the white dial with the black ceramic bezel. 40 millimeter. Unbelievable, this watch. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm telling you, this is and it's a discontinued watch. Collector's choice, collector's grade, collector's unit, collector's dream, all that stuff. You know, all that collector stuff you guys like. It's the reference number 116500. Retail price, it was less than that, but as the years went by, it kept on getting more expensive, you know? But it was somewhere in the 13,000 when it first, you know? But it's right now at, before it got discontinued, it was at $14,800. $14,800. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you the truth. You know, they're out there. They're out there. I'm telling you, they're out there. Don't pay for that watch more than $22,000. Right, guys? Don't pay more than $22,000. Collector's choice. Our next one is the Rolex stainless steel Daytona Darth Vader. You know Darth Vader is the father of Luke Skywalker, you know? Luke, you know? Unbelievable. Black dial, black ceramic bezel. Unbelievable watch with the silver gauges, you know? Unbelievable. And it's the same reference number, the 116500. And it's the same retail price, $14,800. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you the truth and nothing but the truth. Don't pay for that watch more than $19,500. You guys do whatever you want. Today, you know, I don't feel like dropping too much today, you know? It takes too much out of my energy, you know, and I want to have energy today. You know, I have a date night tonight. You know what that means. You know what that means, you know? I can't burn too much. Después estoy flojo, papi. Después estoy hecho un palomo. You know, un palomo yo, no puedo ser palomo, papi. You know? And I don't drink none of that stuff, you know. You know that people drink that stuff, you know, so they can le trabaje el muñeco. Ay, Señor mío, que Dios me perdone por todo lo que ha dicho. So don't pay for that Rolex Daytona Darth Vader. Don't pay for it more than $19,500. Right, guys? You guys do whatever you want. This is the older reference. This is the discontinued models, papi. These things are supposed to go all the way up. All the way up. Do you guys know that Rolex Daytona Panda at one moment was over $55,000? And you know those two characters, you know, Deputy Boxing Black Eyes and his sidekick, Jiminy Cricket with the Chia Pet spray can hair. You know what they would tell you guys? It was crazy, man. They would tell you guys saying when it discontinues, it's going to hit $100,000. What a guy, man. Unbelievable. $100,000. He already started making his content, you know, with the cars and the food and sushi and all that stuff, you know. You know, they wear sweaters, you know, it's like around 90 degrees and they wear sweaters, you know, they say Montclair, Supreme, you know, all that stuff. The people are sick. Unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is a Rolex Rose Gold Oyster Flex Chocolate Dial Daytona. I had that watch and I sold it. When I sold it, I left to Dubai with my wife. I did. I had that watch, I sold it, and I left to Dubai. Unbelievable. True story. True story. I mean, I know you guys probably don't believe it, but it's a true story, you know. So this Oyster Flex, you know, with the rubber strap, unbelievable. Rose gold. Retail price is $31,500. Discontinue. Reference number 116515. You know it. You know it, Mr. Blair. That's right. My wife loves me dearly, and I love my wife dearly. You know, we've been married. Guys, you know how long I've been married with my wife? I've been married for 41 years, Papi. 41 years. Let me, you know, 41 years is un cojón de año. Don't pay for that Rolex Rose Gold Oyster Flex Chocolate Dial Daytona. $31,500 is the retail price. Don't pay for that watch more than $31,000 and dropping. And you want a full set. All right, guys. Yeah, 41 years, Alex, I've been married. 41 years, and I have two beautiful children. They're adults already, but I have two beautiful children. Thank you, guys. Thank you for that. Thank you. Our next watch is a watch that when you hear this, you're gonna go, "Wow!" This is the Rolex White Gold, fully white gold Daytona Ghost. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you so much, Alex. Fully white gold with the ghost dial. Unbelievable. And they were telling you when it discontinues, you're gonna be able to go around the world. With the money you're gonna make. Don't forget that they are already starting to say, so you guys get it in your head, that watches are an investment. All right? The watches are an investment. My personal opinion, I don't believe that they are an investment. I do believe they can get you out of many apuros, many difficult times in your life. You're having a slump at work and business, and whatever it is, whatever you do, and you want to sell it quickly because you need to liquidate money and get money. Okay, fine. That one I'll say yes. How's that? Are they an investment? You know, you know, you know what I'm saying. They're not. To me, they're not an investment. So this watch, the Gold Daytona fully white gold 116509, has a retail price of $41,600. $41,600. And ladies and gentlemen, you do whatever you want. It's also discontinued. Sir, you wanted to hear all these Daytona watches? I'm giving them to you. They're dead. Your investment, it went belly up. It went belly up because you've been watching too much Deputy Boxing Black Eyes. You got to be careful. No pueden ser palomos. No pueden ser palomos. Dejen de ser palomos. No pueden seguir así. No pueden seguir así. Remember, guys, aprovechen, take advantage that I'm still here. Take advantage. I'm telling you, take advantage that I'm still here. I'm telling you. There will be no one else. There will be no one else. Get it through your head. There will be no one else to defend you as the way I defend you guys. I know what I'm telling you. No sean palomos. Don't pay for that ghost. White gold. Don't pay more. Fully white gold. The reference. You want the reference number? Let me give it to you again. 116. Unbelievable. 509. Don't pay for that watch more than $34,500. All right, guys? Don't pay that. Sir, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you know what it means, Alex. You know that, Papi. Did you see Alex? Tell me the truth. I'm gonna speak to Alex for a second. Did you see their new content? Listen to me. There's nothing wrong with that. We know already. We saw it already too. How's that? We saw the sketch they're attacking you guys with. Papi, this is a watch hate crime, what they're doing to you people. It's a watch hate crime, what they're doing to you. And you see him with his, that dead buddy boxing black eyes, has another kit now that, is working there. Have you seen a new kit? He's the one that took over. Guys, I cannot continue, telling you all these things. But the new kit that's there now, he's like a clone. He took over for the Amish honey bun maker. The Amish. With the hat, sombrero, the Amish honey bun maker. So he took over now, the Amish honey bun maker in one of his last videos, one of his last movies. he was buying a Maybach, right? A Maybach. So this one, I still haven't baptizing, I haven't baptizing him with his name. Not yet. But you know who I'm talking about. I know that you guys know who I'm talking about. He's the one that took over for the Amish honey bun maker that was buying the Maybach, for $400,000. And 3 weeks later, he was gone. So now they got this other dodo bird that's working there, I don't know, he's very strange looking. He's very strange. I don't, reminds me, I don't know. No, it's not the Puerto Rican Charlie Brown. And he's there now saying that he's going to buy another Maybach. Unbelievable. I'm just letting you know. I'm letting you know what's going on, guys. You do whatever you want. Okay. Let's continue here. Our next watch is a Rolex White Gold Ghost Oyster Flex Daytona 116519 40 millimeter. Retail price is $31,500. Don't pay for that watch. Also discontinue. Collector's choice. All that good stuff that you guys like. Porque ustedes son los lambones. Ustedes son lambones. Lambones. And I'm gonna tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I know being bored and being at home and not having much to do, it's good to watch all those shows, and you should watch them all. It's all fun. But when you have people that call me up and tell me, no, because I saw this and they said this and they said that, I go, wow. There is a lot of palomos out there. Palomos. Remember, palomos equals naive, right? Palomos. And these people are very well taught, man. They're very, very well taught. And they want to get you some way. They're looking at your wife's 401k, all right? They're looking at your wife's 401k. But you guys are lucky that I'm here. I'm like a thorn. I'm a thorn. I'm going to be honest. I don't think, is the word anus a bad word? Anus? I don't think it's a bad word. I remember when I went to school, I don't think anus was a bad word. But I'm a thorn in their anus. Yeah? So there it is. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, don't pay for that Oyster Flex 116519 Ghost Oyster Flex. Don't pay for it more than $30,500. Right, guys? You do whatever you want. Our next watch is a Rolex Yellow Gold Green Dial 40 millimeter. Green Dial Daytona. Unbelievable, It's an unbelievable watch. And since they've been trying to hype prices all over the place, I'll tell you this again. The memo has been sent out. And all those Muppet Boiler Room secondary gray watch market channels, they were standstill making those little reels. They have been called and they have been sent a memo to start making videos all over again. An attack against you and your children's tuition money. Okay? I'm blowing it. I'm the whistleblower. I'm the one. And they know already, because they know already that I'm not going to be around that long. They know it already. I won't be that long around to, continue giving these watch market updates. When I make these watch market updates, maybe you guys haven't realized this. Maybe you haven't. But when I make these watch market updates, I disrupt. I rattled. Disrupt. The rhythm. El ritmo. The rhythm, I rattle it. I rattle it. I disrupt it. Instead of going like this, it goes like this. You understand me? You might not think that I'm doing that to them, but I am. And they're steamed up because I'm doing that. The same way they tell you every day and they pound you that the watch market is up and running, and you guys believe it, me, I rattle it. If you're ready to pull the trigger on a $40,000 watch and you hear me say don't pay more than $28,000, are you going to pay for it? No, you won't. You're like this. You won't do it. And this is what I have become. You understand me? I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been kind of out of character this whole hour, you know? I've been out of character. Because maybe you guys are more, you know, my friend tells me always, Juan, keep it simple for these people. You know, he tells me keep it simple. So I'm trying to keep it simple, but I have disrupted and rattled the secondary gray watch market. We're not going to call it the Muppet gray watch market. We're going to call it the secondary gray watch market. And they're looking for the day that I just say, I'm done. You know, because I already gave you guys the blueprints of everything. Well, not of everything, because not everything, but I have, you know, somebody can continue on. Maybe Alex will continue on for me, you know, he will continue on. No matter if they tell you that John Mayer, no. Even if they tell you that it costs 70, 69, 75, don't believe him. Don't believe him. Don't believe him. You saw what happened. I don't want to keep on, you know, I don't want to keep on dropping knowledge, but we are living in times that are very, very confusing. You know, you saw what's happening with that guy, the guy that makes cars. You know, the guy that makes cars, those electric cars, and the guy that's over there in that office sitting down. Now they're, you know, but to me that's all a sketch they're doing to all of us. You know, let's disagree with you, you know, and you disagree with me, and it's all a game. It's all a game, guys. It's all a game. I didn't say nothing. If you were smart, you stretch your brain. You need to stretch your brain. Stretch it hard, and you learn. Anyway, don't pay for that John Mayer. 116508 green dial. Discontinue. Collector's choice. Collector's grade. All that good stuff. Don't pay for that watch. You do whatever you want, pero no sean palomos. No sean lambones. You understand me? You need to start saying palomos, lambones. When you are working and with one of your work, you know, chums, tell me, acá, palomo. Come over here, palomo. You say, what are you telling me, palomo? Tell him palomo, okay? Palomo. Don't pay for that John Mayer Daytona with the green dial. Don't pay more than $52,000 in dropping. You do whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? You see, Damon's a very smart man. You can't, Damon. You know, you don't want to talk about, you know, when BlackRock picks up the phone, se jodió todo. BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, you know, Fidelity. You don't know about this stuff. They're not like us. They're not like us. Papi, it's all a sketch. It's a big corporation. It's a big business. I told all of you, even if you don't want to watch it, you need to watch the movie network. It'll tell you everything, Papi. It's an illusion. It's an illusion. Whether you're red or blue, it's an illusion. It's the same. Mira, aquí voy. Here I go. Es la misma mierda con diferente peste. Es la misma mierda con diferente peste. I'm going to say it in English. It's the same shit with a different smell. That's all. All right, guys? All right, let's go. We're going to be talking about the Rolex Yellow Gold Stainless Steel GMT Jubilee. You know, they call this watch the zombie. 40 millimeter. When it first came out from Watches and Wonders, it hit the $40,000 mark. You got to be nuts. But okay. The retail price is $17,850. Don't pay for that zombie for that Jubilee two-tone, don't pay more than $17,000. And my last watch of the day. It is the Rolex Rose Gold. The Rolex Rose Gold stainless steel GMT oyster bracelet, 40 millimeter. Unbelievable looking watch. They call this watch the root beer. You know, stainless steel rose gold. In my time, like I told you guys always, this watch, these two-tone watches in my time. And I believe they're going to go back to that again. They're going to go back. They were dogs. Not with fleas. They were dogs. They were dogs. You know? And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, for this root beer, $17,500 is the retail price. Unbelievable watch, root beer. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, don't pay for that watch. You do whatever you want. Don't get scared. It's nothing big. It's just the real price. Don't pay for that watch more than $16,300. All right, guys? There's your watch market update. I hope you learned something. Be careful with that new, versus clean, clean versus. Be careful. They're out there. The movement is like silk now. Okay? You got it. All right, guys? Guys, don't forget to do me a favor and do, Sweet Kid Kino to me, Joaquin to you. Do us a favor and subscribe to the channel, like the video. Right, guys? All right? Before I leave the channel, I want to leave Sweet Kid Kino with 10. I told him with 10, And I told you this a couple of days ago, and I'll tell you again. This channel has real, 100% real subscribers. But when you drop too much knowledge, remember all these channels, all these watch companies, they let this platform make, and I won't. I won't. Anyway, guys, like me and Sweet Kid Kino will say always, take care and brush your hair. Peace. Alex, te quiero mucho. No more 5,000 flip coins. No more.